welcome to episode 13 of Cat's Caffeinated Craftcast. Damn. I have said welcome to episode 13 so many goddamn times. So I went in a little bit on the video that you saw on the first. So, basically I had a very large emotional and energy sort of tank in mid-July, early August, and I kept having a lot of technological issues and general interruption type issues when I was trying to film. Sometimes I would film the whole thing and you couldn't see my eyeballs, or there was construction work going on through all of it, so on and so on. So it is basically I kept filming every 2 weeks with the intent of editing and putting it up until somewhere in the middle of September, and at which point I was just like, I'm not editing these, and I stopped. And then like it only took me a month to like turn around and be like, oh my god, well, okay, not even mid-September. Hi, Bean Boy, do you want to come up here and sit with me? Do you want to film with me? This is my son Kronk. He is a cat. He has chest hairs. Wait, are you not going to show the people your chest hairs? No, you want to leave? You don't like being shown off? You just want to sit here? Okay. So it was more like mid-August is when I stopped. I think I filmed 3 or 4 ones, and then I tried again in mid-October. Oh no, he's going to go hide in the cubby. What are you doing in there? What are you doing? What you doing, little man? Come out. Just, you want to sit with me, okay? Basically just lots of things kept going wrong. So now I'm feeling a lot better. I want to do festive mood things, so I am doing Yule vlogs, Yule logs, kind of thing, because I was raised lazy Norse pagan. So we're doing 21 instead of 24, or 25, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to be pre-filming a lot of them, and the podcasts that happen within that space are just going to be counted as that day's video. So yeah, I know that's not particularly a vlog, and that's why log is more of the thing, you know, captain's log kind of thing, but then Yule logs are more of you know, one of those videos that you find and it's like fireplace noises and grumpy cat purring. You know. So I have written notes for episode 13 recently. They're from the mid-October attempt. Aha! Yeah, so I have a note in here that says 2020, perhaps not the best year to try and start a podcast. A knitting, crochet, sewing, and other craft vlogcast. So if you are new here and you've sat through that ridiculous introduction, my name is Kat. I live in Florida with my fiance, our 2 cats, a roommate, and her cat. Yeah, so Florida. Swearing friendly. I've explained why I've been gone. So before I get into the knitting stuff, some political talk, some important things that need to be covered before we get too far into this. Biden being in office is just the beginning. Yeah, there's still work to be done. You still need to be out there. I personally have pre-existing health conditions that make it to where I really shouldn't but trust me, I am doing absolutely everything I can within my ability, and you should be too. And if that means that you are able to go outside and protest, please do. Serious time. I'm using my serious time voice rather than my big, happy, chipper, let's get through this quickly voice. I hope y'all like this. I feel like it's very ASMR-y. Yeah, you like my ASMR voice. Can you even hear me when I whisper? Anyway, I think I'm starting to get a bit of a sore throat. I might be allergic to the candle I'm burning. Who knows? Who knows? That'd be just my fucking luck, too. So, obviously, Black Lives Matter. You need to wear your fucking mask when you leave the fucking house. Most places here in the US, cases are going up significantly, so be aware of what your numbers are for your area and calculate your risks from there. I have personally not been to the grocery store since April. I've gotten all of my groceries delivered since then. That does, of course, very sadly mean that I am not supporting my local shops. I will admit that I do not have a local regular grocery store. I do have a local Asian market, but that is clear across the other side of town and I cannot walk there. And it is a very, very small space. Very small space. And, yeah. So if you have local shops that you can walk, local grocery stores that you can walk to, please walk to them and buy your bread and your rice there. What else did I say? Oh! So I've noticed that a lot of people have stopped really shouting about this, so it's really not that topical of a topic anymore, but Ravelry still sucks ass. If you are using it, please just stop. So when I logged in October to see if Socks Therapist, the designer of the Fish Lips Kiss Heel, had given an update to her Fish Lips Kiss Heel pattern, because she's been talking about adding some more bits to it, and that's the only place she has it. And that's, I know that lots of designers are only on Ravelry, so I understand going on there for those designers. But at the same time, if you have the cojones to do so, please bring it up to that designer. Hey, do you realize the issues that Ravelry is causing? I know that I've asked a couple of designers, specifically the designer of the Woodland Walk socks, because she has all of her paid-for patterns on both Ravelry and Etsy, but I could not find a secondary source for any of her free patterns. And if you're not new here, if you've watched a couple of episodes, you probably know that I am a free pattern hound. I don't really pay for patterns very often, and that's because I've never really seen them before this year. This year I have learned the point behind paying for patterns, because I have gotten more into the designer community and all of that. So, I know that there are patterns that need to be paid for, and I know that if somebody is offering free patterns, that is a magical gift, and you can be exceptionally thankful for it. Exceptionally. So one of the things that I saw when I logged into Ravelry back in October was a notification on their homepage, because I am using Classic Rav. New Rav did in fact cause me eye pain. I had a migraine over my birthday and my birthday week. I believe I talked about it in episode 12. I thought it was because I dislocated my shoulder, but after reviewing the tapes, basically going back over symptoms and when they started and whatnot, I am fairly fucking certain that it was actually the amount of time I had been spending on Ravelry the week prior trying to get all of my free and paid for patterns downloaded and onto a flash drive. So I'm using Classic Rav, still causes me pain. Sorry, I've been sleeping funny recently. And so I used the Classic Rav setting, and across the top of the home page it says that the Classic Rav setting will be discontinued in March next year. They didn't even give it a whole year. Seriously. What the fuck is up with that? Anyway, so I have 3 options for you. 4, technically, of other places that you could go and you could try and find your patterns. So we are going to start with, the one that's not out yet, and that is Fiber Club. Amazing, lovely human being. I don't remember what her name is because I am awful with names. She and her husband are designing Fiber Club, or I don't know if it's her husband, but she and her partner are designing Fiber Club specifically as a replacement to Ravelry. And they are designing Fiber Club with specifically like accessibility and visibility in mind. I am not one of their testers, though I do believe that they have testers currently. Not sure. Oof. It's not currently out. I will make sure that all of her information is linked in the doobly-doo. Next we have Ribbler. If you watch Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits, you'll probably have heard of Ribbler at this point. She talks Ribbler up really well, and I downloaded it because of her, because she, in one of her videos, mentioned that it was out. So I got it, and I, kind of hate it, not gonna lie. Not fond of the interface. I don't know if that's because I'm not fond of the interface on the phone. I haven't checked it out on desktop, laptop, yet. I feel like I can't really find anything very well. The navigation's a bit difficult. So on and so forth. So trying to go in there, trying to find patterns. I click on I put in all of my search filters and everything to find some patterns. I click on a pattern to see the details on it. And then I hit the back button, assuming that I'm going to go back to that search that I put all of those filters in. No, it takes me all the way back to the home page. So I have to re-put in all of those filters every time I click on a pattern. It's not fun. And then I'm sure that because Ribbler is so new, they are working on these things, and I'm very excited to see what happens. But that was frustrating enough to where I haven't reopened it since my original poke around. I haven't even tried it on my laptop, which I really should do. Then we have Neutrino. So there has been some ish with Neutrino. I believe a lot of us knitters and crocheters originally believed that Neutrino was going to give us the ability to upload patterns we already had to it. I know for a fact that I was under that impression, and then Autistic Vulcan on Instagram was also under that impression. Again, they will be linked down below. So there's that. Coffee is very cold. And I assume that there were enough other people who also had that misunderstanding. Because they wound up having to make a post about it, about how it was not a pattern import site. So another issue I personally have with it, and so did that other user, Instagram user I mentioned, was how expensive the patterns are on Neutrino. Now, I just looked around at like what was on their sort of homepage, so I didn't like hunt down patterns that I personally purchased or was looking to purchase off of Ravelry to compare the prices there between there. But some of them did feel very expensive. But if you think about the fact that Neutrino is designed to take those patterns that it sells off of its platform and give you interactive directions for them, I guess it's not that bad, but still. Point remains that there was a misunderstanding between those of us who were going to become users and the developers at some point in time. And then good old Lovecrafts. I feel like there's some ish with Lovecrafts as well. It's not a website I personally use. I think when I originally found that website, they still had a very outdated interface. I think that they still do have a very outdated interface, and I just wasn't a fan. But either way, you can still find patterns there. Okay. So, now we have the make-alongs, knit-alongs, and crochet-alongs section. Because this is old information, I'm not entirely sure if all of these are still going, but I'm pretty certain that they are. So we have the CHM Gift Along 2020, and that is hosted by Ellie of Craft House Magic, and it is any make that is a gift, even for yourself. This may have ended on the December 1st, so Editing Me will put that information on the screen and in the show notes. I will desperately try to make show notes to go on my blog, but I may just make very minimal show notes to go in the description box. Then we have Festive Sock Along 2020, hosted by Amy Florence of Stranded Dye Works. And it is winter holiday themed socks. And I believe that this one goes all the way to the 24th, or maybe it's all the way through December. Again, Editing Me will fix these inconsistencies. Those are the two that I am currently actively in, because I have a lot of gifts going on, and I also have a pair of Christmas socks for myself on the needles right now. Then we have three more that I would like to draw attention to, just because they're really fun and they're really cool. So we have the Mission Impossible mail and the Year of Classics mail, hosted by Hannah of Crochet Cottage Crochet. She's about to have a baby! She's about to have a baby. I am so excited to see this baby because I love other people's children. I don't personally want children right now, but other people's children, because you can hand them back. You can hype them up on sugar, you can cover them in mud, and then you can just hand them back. No responsibility. I'm going to make a wonderful aunt, and if I do ever have my own kids, a wonderful grandma. Anyway. So Mission Impossible mail and Year of Classics. So Mission Impossible is any project that you didn't think you were capable of doing. My original plan for my Mission Impossible mail was to make the Water Bearer cardigan by Jacqueline Sizelak. I have the pattern. I have it all highlighted. I have all of the extra numbers blocked out. I have the yarn. The yarn isn't even caked up yet because I'm a dumbass. And it is now December, currently as I'm filming, December 1st. I believe y'all are going to see this on, I think I'm going to try and put it up on Wednesday, so that's the 2nd, because today's Tuesday, right? I don't know what the day of the week is. I know that it's the 1st. That's it. Y'all are going to be seeing this on hopefully the soonest Wednesday after the 1st, which I think is tomorrow on the 2nd. Don't quote me if I'm wrong. So yeah, and I don't think I'm going to get to that in a month. But also, Hannah herself has not gotten through her Mission Impossible mail, which she's calling her Skyrim cardigan because she's using yarn that's dyed based off of Cities in Skyrim, which is peak nerd culture. Fuck yeah. Rock on. And it is, I don't remember what cardigan it is, but it's by Hoki Locatelli. It's one of Hohi's patterns. And it has a really sort of funky construction, and I believe it's a similar construction to this one actually. And that you knit part of the shawl collar, and then you knit the back and the sleeves and the front and all of that. And she's, seriously, go watch one of her episodes within the last, I would say like any of them since August. She's talked about her Skyrim cardigan, and they're amazing. It's amazing balls. The yarn is gorgeous. The way she's fading the yarn is also magical. Anyway, and then Year of Classics is anything you will actually wear. So like if you're like me and you're in Florida, that means no bulky sweaters, no worsted sweaters, fingering weight sweaters, lacy sweaters, cotton garments. But if you're in the frigid north, all of those things that I shouldn't be making here in the temperate, subtropics, you should be making up there, and you probably shouldn't be making the things that I should be making, I'm sure you know. And then, last but not least, is the Blame Dunder Knit Along. We all love this one. We all love Dunder Knits. We all love the Blame Dunder Knit Along. So, we'll see. I might actually pull a rabbit out of my hat and somehow finish all of these gift items in time to mail them out. 15th is my cutoff date, personal cutoff date. I know that the 15th is what the USPS is quoting for some of the most distant international mailing, but I want to give it plenty of time to get to my family. So I'm going to try and have everything done by the 15th and mailed out to the Northern crew. So if I do that, I will cast something on for Blame Dunder Knits. I know that it's like you're supposed to cast something on with wild abandon and ignore your obligations, but I have a very large pile of things that are currently on the needles or on the hook, and I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed by it all. I think I even have, I have some stuff up here even that I didn't pull down to show you because I wanted to make this decent, or a decent amount of time, and I feel like I've already chattered for like half an hour and we haven't even gotten to any of the actual goddamn knitting. So, actual knitting time. Finished objects. So, this basket and this basket. This one has a work in progress in it, and this one has some finished objects in it. So I crocheted my girlfriend a whole bunch of earrings. She still has all of the cards for them. She just wore some of them, and so they are off the cards. So these are really cute. I also made some Christmas trees for one of her friends, and I made watermelon slices for one of her other friends. And so these are going to be potentially going to be a custom item slot, or a made-to-order item in my Etsy store. I had originally planned to get that listing up in time to be able to make them and send them off for Christmas. maybe if I can manage to get them photographed and put the listing up in my shop, like today, I might be able to make a couple of pairs. Beforehand, we shall see. We shall see. So there's that. So there are pumpkins in 3 colors. I have green, white, and orange. Apples in 2 colors, green and red. And then the apples also come in wholes and halves. I personally like to make them mismatched pairs when it's the apples, but also if you do want to order a pair, I can totally make a matched pair, whether you want the halves or the wholes. The watermelon slices are like half round slices, and then the Christmas trees. Hopefully I can put a picture in sometime. I have a kind of crummy, while I was making them in studio sort of picture. Of those two, the watermelon and the Christmas tree, but I don't have that for these ones. And that's the bottom of the basket. And there's the bottom of this basket as well. Anyway, now onto a relatively impressive stack of socks. Let's see if I can fold these nicely and get a good thumbnail, eh? Okay, so these are mine. I have worn them a couple of times, so they are a tiny bit grungy. These are the Broken Seed Stitch socks, which were the August pattern, more like a prompt really, for the Kia Spod Free Socks Monthly. It's Broken Seed Stitch across the front of it, plain stockinette in the back, the Knitting Swedes rounded toe, Socks Therapists Fish Lip Kiss Heel, 1 inch of pattern, and then 1 inch of ribbing. These guys are a little bit too long for me, so I may actually wind up giving them to my fiance and I's girlfriend because her feet are ever so slightly longer than mine. I don't think I can reach. Can I reach? Oh, the batteries fell down. Yep. So, my foot, the girlfriend's foot. So, I feel like they'd be able to stretch to hers decently well. Either way, they're really cute. I quite like them. I have enough leftover yarn to where if these do wind up being hers rather than mine, I can knit myself a pair and have these very cute socks. Then these are the Altanin socks by Kalisha of Quirky Money Crafts. And I believe this was a half object last time you see them. They are a whole object now. And I used the Fish Lips Kiss Heel and the rounded toe that was in Kalisha's pattern. These were a cuff down and these ones were toe up. So, you can kind of see the patterning in the sock, but you also kind of can't. It's very nice. I really quite like these. And if I ever get over myself and can get to a point where I can re-knit a pattern, I might make myself a pair of those. Then here we have the Thunder and Lightning socks, which were just a plan last time we spoke in this manner. And this is using the knit, both of these are Lion brand sockies. This one is Cotton Candy and Grape Soda. This one is Snow Cone and Taffy. Snow Cone and Taffy. This one is the Knit Picks Sparkling Sock, or Knitology by Knit Crate sparkling sock, and this one was in turquoise or something like that. The speckles are turquoise. So these are the Thunder and Lightning socks by Dawn Henderson. And this was the July pattern for the Kia Spot Free Socks Monthly. They feel very cold, and I almost thought that they were damp. So this has a really lovely chevron and bobble cuff detail here, and then a really, really nice textured ribbing pattern. I feel like perhaps either something was off with my blocking or something was off with my gauge or something, because the chevron, you can see it really well across the cuff, and then you can't really see it really well when it moves into the rest of the sock. And those are for the Goblin King and I's girlfriend. And then these ones are for my tall best friend, which I have decided is not a particularly descriptive name for him. And so I'm going to call him, I've decided that his new nickname before filming is Chandelure, which is his favorite Pokemon. If you've seen the Nitpicks haul video, he was the one who gave me the crazy, insane, massive gift card. So he also has ginormous feet, as you can probably tell. And these are just like a vanilla sock. I just kind of whipped up this pattern right on my head. So it is 72 stitches, 2 inches of 2x2 ribbing. Then I did some striping in scraps. Technically the green isn't a scrap yet. I'm like pre-using the scraps. I'm sure you heard of that. And then, ta-da! So I used some tips from Roxanne Richardson on these socks to make them fit a bit better. And the two main ones that, well, the one that I used that was a fit one was that rather than knitting the flap, the heel flap, to where it is the same number of rows as you have stitches, so it's approximately a square, you knit it the length of your ankle bone on the outside of your foot to the floor. So his was 3 inches, so I knit the flap to 3 inches. And then I used her tips for making the picked up stitches very neat. And I will try and remember which video that was explained in and link that video, because she can explain it significantly better than I ever could. I do have one worry that they are perhaps a little bit long. But we'll see how the chips fall. If they wind up being too big, you can wear them as house socks. It's not the end of the world. I do plan on knitting everyone I know multiple pairs of socks because I love knitting socks. I have become vaguely addicted over this year, and I am very ready to make a lot more. So yeah, that can go in there because that's Northern Crew needs to mail out, and then those probably need to be washed, and those two need to be hidden. Then we have a cowl I made for my short best friend, whom will from now on be called the hipster best friend, because again, short is not a particularly good descriptor of his personality. Hipster really isn't either, and it's a bit more of an inside joke than anything. And I made him this cowl with the leftovers from my Ursa sweater, which you will see in a moment. So I used a tubular cast on, where you knit and then you do the whole shenaniganry. And then I also used a sewn tubular bind off, but I also used the half brioche sort of rib pattern from the sweater. I'm not entirely sure why this one winds up looking so lacy compared to this one, because I used the same gauge and everything, but it's gonna mess up my hairs. I tried to do a little bit of a split hem on one side, so maybe it would lay a little bit funky, give it a little bit more detail. So I made this for him because I know that he wears cowls. Hopefully the navy is an okay color. I don't know. But I had this idea and I was like, oh yes, that, perfect, excellent. So I just kind of, again, this is a pattern I just kind of pulled out of thin air, making it up as I go. And then, I believe I was nearly done with this guy when I showed it to you last. This is my Ursa sweater, which is a pattern by Jacqueline Sieslak. It's wonderful and lovely, and I really enjoyed making it. The reason I'm not wearing it is because it definitely needs a wash, and it also needs a good depilling. I don't know if you guys can see all the pills there on the underside of the arms. This sweater has been well loved since I finished it, and I need to figure out how to depill it. This was made in Cascade 110 LE, something along those lines. It was yarn that I found at the thrift store and found it in enough to make a color blocked sweater. And it is 100% Peruvian Highland wool, and it's a non-super wash, which means I can't just whack it in the wash, which is a bit lame, because it is a bulky weight sweater, so it does get quite heavy in the wash. Admittedly, I've worn it quite a bit this year, even though I finished it in August. The roommate does like to keep the house at 70, so it's a bit cold, and I am a wee baby lizard, and I need to be warm at all times. The guy also needs to be washed. Yeah, so I believe that I made the 46-inch bust size. I knitted the sleeves to 5 rounds longer than what she says in the pattern. Yeah. And I started the color blocking of the navy right at the tip of the V of it all. So the first time that I did the expansion to make it go from just the one sort of faux seam half brioche stitch to do the one on each side, that's when I joined in the blue. I had 4 skeins of each color. So I knitted the body of the sweater with 2 skeins of the black, and then had to finish out the row, I had to join in a little bit from the 3rd skein to finish out the row, or like 1 or 2 rows to get myself to where the half brioche triangle started. And then I used 2 balls of navy, or 1 ball, something like that. No, I 2 balls of navy here. And then I started the sleeves, and I used the one that I had taken that little bit out of for the body to knit the black of the sleeve, and made note of that, then knit with the navy until the end. And then with the 4th ball of the black, I joined in here, knitted to make this black section match that black section, knitted with the blue. So I had 1 and probably 3/4 of navy and a very small nugget of black left. The black has totally gone missing somewhere in the house, and all of the navy was used up in the creation of my hipster best friend's cowl. So that is everything that I finished since we last talked. I'm fairly certain that is everything that I finished. We will now move into whips. So really quick, excuse me. Oh man. Any of the yarn that is in a whip, if it's new, I'm not even gonna try and remember if it's new or not, because brain bees. So we're gonna start with my cat's mini advent and the crochet granny square stockings that I am attempting to make. So I'm using Premier Home Cotton Big Glitz in the cream with gold, the green with gold, and the red with gold. It is a cotton nylon blend, and I got these at Tuesday morning a bit ago. Very nice yarn. I quite like working with it. It is the teeny tiniest bit splitty. If you like overwork the yarn, you know, like you take it out and you put it back in, you know. So here I will insert some clips of the Yule Advent that I took today on the 1st that I've made so far. I've only made 12 of them so far. Okay, so right there is the partially made Yule Advent for my cats. Each little stocking is large enough to hold like a little catnip toy in it. There's our little Christmas tree. I know it's looking rough. I affectionately call it the Shitmas tree. There is a whole song. It's sung to the tune of O Tannenbaum. You know. But here, let me step up. So these are from a pattern from a blog called 5 Little Monsters or something like that. I will put that on screen. And she has directions on how to do most of these pattern variants. She has a couple of others she talks about in her blog post. And they are super duper simple. And I can whip one up in like 25 minutes. I think the 2 things that I personally changed for each one of these is that she does some increases in the leg. I didn't do those. And she also does not do the crab stitch border. But honestly guys, I fucking love a good crab stitch. Like, crab stitch is probably my favorite crochet edge finish, and I feel like I need to use it every time I have the chance. So yeah, this is one, so it's empty. They have already gotten their little, I think this one was like a duck sauce packet. 2 seconds. Okay, so I pulled out 2 of the toys. This one is like a sampler pack of Silvervine and catnip mixed together, which I know they really love anyway. So I have all of these sauce packets and fortune cookies from Polydactyl cat toys. My mom sent me a whole bunch of them back at my birthday to give to the cats. So I have been holding on to most of them until now to stuff in the Advent. I am afraid that this is only 12 right now. So I do need to finish the last 8. I am afraid that I'm going to run out of treats to pop in there. And I might have to run out to the dollar store and buy some like crinkle balls or fake mice things really quick to put in the last few. But, you know. Also, I haven't woven in a single end in any of these. Most of the time it's only like this top end that's sticking out, like the whatever I used on the edge finishing that's sticking out, because I just crochet over all of the other ends rather than bother to weave them in. And one little string is not going to kill me. That one little string is probably going to be unwoven in the rest of these little stockings' life. It's perfect. It's great. I love my life. Now that I have left myself space to put that in. I've only found one pattern online for crochet granny square stockings that I liked, and it called for bulky weight yarn. And I believe that this was to make it to where the fabric was denser, but I wanted to use what I had on hand. And so I did a couple of swatches, granny square swatches, to see if I could get the size that I needed the granny squares to be. I believe I needed them to be 4 inches or 4.5 inches, and these guys are just at 4, so I think I can do it. Anyway, I will link that pattern below. I'm going to try and make me, the Goblin King, me and the Goblin King's girlfriend, and our roommate all stockings before Christmas, hopefully. I don't think I'm going to get it done before Yule. I think I can get the cat's Yule Advent sorted before Yule. If you're wondering why I keep looking over here, that's because I have my porch door here, my front door is that way, my kitchen is also that way, and my couch is on, my desk is behind you. My desk is just, desk is behind you, couch is just to my right of that. And then just to the right of my couch is where I have our little tree and our little stocking area for right now. So I keep looking at the stockings. Oh goodness, I'm tired. I might need to make another pot of coffee today. Oh geez. That is mostly because I'm going to try and film as many videos as I physically can. So that'll be fun. We'll see how many we can get out today and how many you have to look at this sweater for. This outfit for. So, yeah, there's that. We shall see how that goes, since I don't have very much of that done and over here. Yeah, I also know that it's a very small sort of basket. It was more that it was holding all of the little stockings and bits in it beforehand. Yeah, we're gonna talk about how do I want to go about this now? We are going to talk about things I am working on that are for here. So this is a big old crochet granny square blanket. I'm using a bunch of random stuff. And I was thinking about, because this green is very Grinchy in my opinion, of putting this in Kalisha's Grinch along. Because it's very Grinchy green and it's very Christmassy, and I think I could get away with it. My cats really love laying on crochet things. I don't know if they prefer, I don't know what they prefer, but I'm making a granny square because I felt like making a granny square. I was feeling like hot garbage a couple of days ago, and I whacked this out in like an hour. And just like the kind of garbage that where you don't really want to focus on anything big, you know. Then we're gonna pull down this stuff too, and this may cause an avalanche, just so you are aware. So these are just some face rounds. It's a pattern I found on the interwebs, and it uses puff stitch and whatever. Again, I will try and link it, but no guarantees because my brain is full of bees. I also made this little basket here that's holding them. I miscalculated the length of the straps, so they don't really like lay down flat or anything, but still cute. Please, no. Ah! Okay. Okay. So, I believe I was talking about this. I think I might have had this done last time I made a podcast episode. This is the Easy Crochet Summer Top by the Double Stitch Twins. I was going to make it into the Summer Festival Romper, which is basically just a shorts addition to this. I've decided that I'm not entirely happy with the way the just regular chain at the bottom here sort of fits around my body. So, I'm thinking that I'm going to pull all of this out and I'm going to redo this whole thing with a foundation single crochet sort of dealio, so it's a little bit stretchier at the bottom and so it doesn't cut funny here on me, and then try doing the shorts edition. So yeah, this is probably going to just live in my cabinet for a good long while until I feel more interested in doing super summery doodads. Okay. Oh look, a lot of this in here is actually closer to plans than anything else. Okay. I also crocheted my girlfriend a top. I'll try and put the picture in now. So I crocheted her that top. This is the leftover cream, and this is the leftover blue. I want to make her a little market bag using the cream here. Then we have some Carrie and Simply Soft that I thrifted. I want to make my roommate a black cat hat with it. And then I have, this is, where are you? You were Bernat Velvet Stripes. So I took all of the stripes apart. I don't know if anybody else had this problem with this yarn, but every single stripe was just knotted together. it was so frustrating. So I took it apart because I was going to do this one pattern with it, and then there wasn't enough stitch definition in the pattern. We haven't gone and picked up more yarn for me to do that pattern for her, blah, 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 blah. So this is just gonna become granny squares because it looks so happy as granny squares, doesn't it? Just so goddamn happy as granny squares. So happy. Look, it's just so good. Anyway. And then I have this guy here, which is, I believe the roommate wanted another hat out of this, and that's why I have it. Yeah, so that is a big pile of later. Just shove it back in there. Hiya! Shoved. Excellent. Perfect. And then we have, okay, one more thing for me, and these are my Christmas socks for Amy's Christmas sock thing. So these are the Christmas tree socks, and these were, oh my god, I don't remember who designed them. But it was designed for hand-painted yarn, and whatnot. So, let me see. I feel like if I put the cardboard sock in it, or the cardboard foot, you will be able to see it a little bit better. And this is knit crate. I don't remember what the yarn is, sadly. I think it might be Villana. And the colorway is Jungle Walk, though. So that is the front. It is a relatively simple Christmas tree lace pattern, and then stockinette on the back. And it is knitted on US 1.5s or 2.5 millimeter needles. And I had to buy new needles for this, and basically every single one of Warm Stripes' patterns, because I feel like all of her color work patterns sock patterns are knitted on this. I was originally also going to make her birthday like surprise socks and just didn't get around to that, but might go back and make them later. Then we have in here, in my Quirky Monday Craft bag, which I know that I was like freaking out about last time I filmed, and I didn't have it yet. And then I filmed the episode right after I got this, and I was just so freaking excited. And I have this, I love it. I'm so sad I didn't get to get a Christmas one. Maybe next year. Anyway, in here is my, all of my stuff to make my Hexie Puffs. I put lavender in the purple ones. So, we have, all of these are from projects earlier in the year. The blue were rib socks for him that I made for the Goblin King. The green I held double with some peach lace to make myself the My Secret Crop by Jessie May. And they are Wisdom, nope, not Wisdom Yarns, Universal Yarns, something hand paints, and there were 50 acrylic, 50 wool. Then these three, which all have lavender in them, are just some random, I think they might actually be a lace weight rather than, this yarn might have actually been a lace weight rather than a sock weight, but I got gauge on it. The Hexie Puffs looked fine, and it's just a really pretty sort of mauve, purple, black, marled, stripy yarn. Very pretty. Then this was my Wolf Bayou top from earlier in the year, and this is, oh no, it's not Fezza Angel, but it's a Fezza yarn. Then this was from the Wooden Walk socks, so this is one of the Knit Crate sparkle bases. This was from what I dubbed my Goth Kitty knee socks. So this is Patton's Croy in Gentry Gray, and this is, I believe that this is, I don't know, It's one of their non-superwash bases from Knit Crate, and it was called Wisteria. And I don't know if you can see little cat ears in it. I made myself a pair of knee-high socks with this yarn, and then they went in the washing machine. And they felted. I can barely even get my freaking wrist through the ankle. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with them. I'm mad. So if you guys have any suggestions for felted socks, the Patents is not felted, so I could probably like cut it off and reuse it somewhere else. But I'm really mad because I spent so much time on making these for my birthday, and then the first time they ever got washed, they felted. So this is another random sort of sock-ish yarn I found at the thrift store, and I used it in Chandelier's socks as one of the contrast colors. This is this one, which is the Knit Crate Knitology Super Sock, and this one is Succulent. I also have Gibbous Moon here. These are technically Stash Acquisitions. So was this guy. This is the colorway Pinch. And this one was Turquoise, and I used this for the Thunder and Lightning socks, and then as a scrap bit in Chandelier's socks, stripey sport stripe socks, whatever. And then this is the Knit Crate yarn that I'm using for my Christmas socks, and then the Snow Cone and Taffy from the Goblin King socks, and then I also used a good bit of the, I believe Snow Cone is the solid in Chandelier's socks, and then we have the purple, which is grape soda, and the pink, which is cotton candy, from my Broken Seed Stitch socks. And then this is the nugget of yarn I had to wind off to make my mom's pattern socks be sort of matching stripes. So that moves us right along into my mom's pattern socks. So this is just a ribbed sock pattern that I am completely and utterly winging based off of my mom's measurements. My mom's feet are very small. And I just picked up the stitches on the heel last night. I worked a couple of rows this morning and then realized, wait, I have to film today, so let us stop. So there's that. This is Wool Ease from Michaels. No, not Woolies. It's the Michaels Loops and Threads wool-free sock yarn that's like bamboo, viscose, and acrylic. Because my mom is allergic to wool, supposedly. I've lived my whole life believing this, but apparently merino doesn't bother her, cashmere doesn't bother her. She can go out there and she can pet a ship and it's fine. But for whatever reason, some of the ones that are like processed or whatever, and she's like, oh, it's the fake lanolin they put back in it. And I'm like, from all of the research that I have done, they don't really do that anymore. They don't put fake lanolin back in. I don't know. Anyway, after these ones, Mom is going to be getting nice sock yarn in her socks. Mother. I don't even know if my mom watches this. Okay, so, we have one more thing that, like, is sort of selfish and shouldn't really be worked on right now. So, I have this idea to do this sort of, historical fashion project. And doing a whole bunch of 1920s styled stuff. I have a bunch of fabric here, and I have some patterns, some PDF files and everything, and it will probably be another video later on for the Yule log. But a very popular style of crochet in the time was filet crochet. And so I was practicing my filet crochet because I have never filet crocheted anything in my goddamn life. Yeah. So, yeah. These aren't the best, and I don't necessarily want to futz around with making my stitches perfectly square at this scale, because this is not the scale that filet crochet is typically worked at. I mean, I'm using fingering to sport weight cotton yarn and an E-hook. Not really the gauge that it's typically worked at, so I don't really want to futz around with my tension on it all that much. But now that I feel like I kind of understand the basics of it and everything, so the reason I don't have it in the proper scale is because for whatever goddamn reason, the thrift store always has crochet cotton thread. Always. Always, 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 always. They have this little like 3-box divider. One of the boxes is always stuffed full of cotton thread. They never have hooks. Never. Ever, 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 ever. Not at all. Not ever. And like okay, they've had hooks once or twice. So that once or twice I have seen the hooks be there for. They have not been the steel crochet hooks, which is what you need for filet crochet. So yeah, I probably just need to pick up an inexpensive pack of steel hooks from somewhere and then buy some of the like 50-cent cones or whatever of the thread. What are those called? Because they're not skeins. Hi. Hello. You look really crooked from my ankle, so 2 seconds. Now you are slightly less crooked. So I got cut off. Figured out where I got cut off. Tried to do some minor editing on, and now you're crooked again. Whatever. I don't care. You're gonna live your life crooked. Tried to do some editing on the Mac. I don't really understand how I don't understand. iMovie is so much more difficult on the laptop than it is on the phone, so we're just gonna finish this one up real quick and then edit it on the phone and then do all of the things. Okay, so Dad's gloves, Hobbit's fingerless gloves for guys. Pattern, make your name here. Hate the pattern. Dad loves the gloves. Wouldn't let me convince him to make him into a different pair. So this is the second time around making this pattern. This is the second try on this glove, and this glove, the left one, I am on the third time around, and I am just going to make it, and if it winds up horrible, it winds up horrible, and I don't even care anymore. Because, time crunch. I am using Lion brand jeans in the vintage colorway. I do have quite a bit of extra because I was originally planning on also making him a hat with it, and putting the cable pattern on the side of the hat and all of that. But I don't think I have time for that anymore because Yule is fast approaching. Then I have the flax pullover by Tin Can Knits that I'm making for my little brother. I'm making the 47-inch size, which is actually the size I would typically make for myself. Because I am 46 here, my little brother is 50 across here. I wanted to make him one with a slight amount of negative ease because he doesn't really like super baggy clothing. And even though I have gauge and all of that jazz, it still wound up quite baggy on me. So we'll see what happens. I just started the sleeve decreases here, and I should be able to just sit down and watch a movie and make that. So that is the end of the whips, but I do have 3 more gift plans that are concrete. Stop play fighting while I'm trying to film. So I have 2 Knit Picks Felici yarns. This one is Animal Cookies and this one is Goth Kitty. This is going to be a pair of socks for my goth best friend up north, and these are going to be a pair of socks for my art ho best friend down here. So I have a little bit more time on these because his birthday is also sometime in January, so I could say that they're a birthday gift rather than a Christmas gift, and everything will be fine. I just have to find what I'm going to use as the contrast color for these guys, and we shall be golden. Then I have these 2 yarns, and I'm going to make my grandmother the Coastal Confessions cowl with them. I still have to figure out what I'm making my grandpa, but I have absolutely no idea. what to make him at all because he's kind of difficult to make for. And then in the stash acquisition section, I have a big, massive bag of thrifted yarn that I've just got a couple of different times. I've gotten some thrifted yarn. I'm gonna do some stuff with it, not entirely sure. You'll probably see it eventually. Then I got these 2 little fill your own plastic clear ball ornaments from the Dollar General. And I'm gonna put little yarn ends, you know, those like 2-3 inch pieces you can't do a damn thing with. I'm gonna put that in here. Alright, thank you so much for watching. You are an awesome and lovely and amazing person. Whatever winter festival, festival of light type thing you celebrate this time of year, whether it has already happened, such as Diwali, or still has a good bit of time before it happens, such as Kwanzaa and Three Kings, I hope you guys have a lovely time of it and you get to spend it with someone you love. Hug those that you can and send letters to those that you can't. I love you. Have a good day.